Have you ever wondered how Iron Man's arc reactor actually works? And did you know that just a few days ago, Google invested an undisclosed amount in a real-world version of what Iron Man or Tony Stark built? In the Marvel Universe, the arc reactor is a compact, clean energy source that was created by Howard and Tony Stark. But scientifically, it's modeled after a very real-world concept called nuclear fusion. And it's the same process that powers our sun and all of the stars in the universe. So in order to successfully conduct a nuclear fusion process, you would have to have light atomic nuclei, tritium or deuterium, which are isotopes of hydrogen, and you would fuse them under intense pressure and heat until eventually you form helium. And in that process, a lot of energy is released. And this is a process that happens incessantly, non-stop inside of our sun. But to be able to accomplish what happens inside of the sun here on Earth or inside of a cave like Tony Stark did in the middle of Afghanistan, you would first need to create something called plasma, which is the fourth state of matter beyond solid, liquid, and gases. You would have to achieve a temperature of 100 million degrees, which is hotter than the core of the sun, in order for the plasma to be hot enough to rip electrons away from atoms. And you wouldn't be able to touch it, and you wouldn't be able to contain it using glass or steel. Yet Tony Stark, while trapped inside of a cave, managed to bottle and contain the power of the sun using the power of magnetism. So the Iron Man reactor is essentially a scaled down version of what is called a tokamak, which is a donut-shaped chamber that uses powerful magnetic fields to hold the plasma in place. And these magnetic coils generate a magnetic field that holds the fusion process and the plasma in perfect harmony and balance. And so Tony Stark places the power of the sun inside of his chest cavity in an attempt to ward off the shrapnel that is making its way towards his heart using the electromagnetic field created by his arc reactor, preventing the shrapnel from moving any closer to his heart via the inertia of the initial explosion. So the arc reactor symbolically replaces his wounded heart and becomes a spiritual engine fueled by light, energy, and purpose, ultimately driving his transformation and his exit from the cave. But what's crazy is that in 2021, MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, in partnership with Commonwealth Fusion Systems, successfully tested the most powerful high-temperature superconducting magnet ever built. And guess what they called it? That's right, the arc reactor. Except in this case, ARC stands for affordable, robust, and compact. And it's a device devised and designed to create fusion energy in a space the size of a closet. The reactor is currently being built, and it is promising limitless clean energy to the grid by early 2030s. But here's where things